Parang masyadong malakas naman itong...
Before we proceed, let us have the press statement coming from our OIC PNP. Sir, please.
Thank you, Brandy. Magandang umaga sa atin lahat. Last week was a very challenging one for the Philippine National Police due to some unfortunate incidents that include our Chief PNP Police General Devolde Encinas being infected by the coronavirus. For the update of his condition, our Chief PNP is doing well in our isolation facility, and as the OIC PNP, I have been in constant communication with him for consultation and discussions on matters pertaining to the important affairs of the police organization. While infected, he is asymptomatic, and we believe that he is still observing the 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. physical fitness habit that he initiated and has been actively participating in, although simple as it may look, has something to do with the boosting of his immune system. This is also the part which emphasizes the importance of observing the minimum health safety standard protocol. For the information of everybody, I am one of those who made close contact with our Chief PNP, but due to the strict observation of the health safety protocols that you yourselves in the media would observe in the conduct of the press conferences, I tested negative based on the result of my RT-PCR that was released early this morning, and the test was taken late in the afternoon yesterday. So I reiterate the instruction to the men and women of the PNP to strictly observe the minimum health safety standard measures in all police camp, police stations, and inside our offices. And just like I have been telling you earlier, it is really a tried and tested formula, because I myself for several times has been with those who have been infected with coronavirus. But because we are wearing this face mask and of course face shield, at saka hindi tayo nakikihalubilo sa kanila, talaga nasubukan natin na magiging tayong low risk close contact na hindi na kailangan pa na mag-quarantine, but siguraduhin na mag-o-observe ng ating proper protocol. In relation to this, it is with deep sorrow that I announce the death of one of our personnel due to complications as a result of the coronavirus infection. He was the 33rd reported COVID death in the PNP, and this tragedy happened 2 years before he was supposed to enjoy his retirement with his family. On behalf of the men and women of the PNP, I extend my deepest condolences to his family. Alam niyo, 2 taon na lang at mag-retire na. At ang sakit nararamdaman ng pamilya nitong aming kasamahan ito ay ganun din ang nararamdaman ng iba pa na pamilya ng aming 32 na iba pang namayapa na, at iba pang pamilya na napakarami ng ating mga Pilipino at sa buong bansa. That is why we reiterate the appeal of our government by our President Mayor Duterte for us to avail the vaccination na naandyan na. And I'm happy to say that more than 80%, 80-something, na ngayon po, yung mga kasamahan namin na willing magpapakuna. For the rest of the 20%, we respect their sentiment, but we believe that eventually, because of this info dissemination through your help, and of course sa atin din, ay makukuha natin ang kanilang sentimiento upang magpapakuna na. On the part of the PNP, we have already secured 1,200 doses of Sinovac, which will serve as the second dose to our medical personnel who received the first dose of the Sinovac. The second dose will be given 28 days after the first dose, and we are thankful to the national government that it is now with us. Secured na natin yung 1,200 para do second dose. It's starting today, and it is actually starting right now. We have started the vaccination of our healthcare workers using the AstraZeneca vaccine. We were only given 3,700 doses for 350 healthcare workers. Nakasecure na rin yung pangalawa niya. Kagaya na banggit nga natin. So ito ibibigay pa rin natin sa ating mga healthcare workers. At dahil limited lang siya sa Metro Manila muna. Ang first priority, yung mga health workers na senior na may comorbidity pa. So meron tayong mga non-uniform personnel na of course 6 years old and above. Sa uniform personnel, wala kaming ganon. So yun ang first priority natin. Second priority, yung mga healthcare worker na nasa Metro Manila na senior citizen lang, walang comorbidity. At kung wala pa, ay kukunti lang naman yun, yung una lang, merong comorbidity lang na healthcare worker sa Metro Manila only. When we say healthcare worker, that includes the non-medical staff. Kahit yung mga sinasabi nga natin na hindi man sila mga doktor o nurse, pero sila ay doon sa ating mga facilities. The threat of the coronavirus infection is still high, and in the past days, we have seen an alarming upsurge of the COVID-19 cases. That is the reason why the Metro Manila Council has approved the implementation of the uniform curfew hours of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the National Capital Region is starting tonight. Kung matatandaan natin, last year exactly this date, March 15, the first day of the community quarantine, yung patawag natin community quarantine for Metro Manila only. And 2 days after that, March 17, 2020, that was the time na ginawa na yung ECQ for the whole of Luzon. So sa ating mga kababayang nanirahan at nagtatrabaho sa Metro Manila, simula mamayang gabi, marami kayong pulis na makikita than the normal situation natin at mga checkpoints sa Kalakhang, Manila. Wala po kayong dapat ikabahala kasi ang pulis natin na andyan para ipatupad at syempre tumulong sa implementation nito alas 10 ng gabi hanggang alas 5 ng umaga. May mga exception yan and basically lahat naman ng mga essential workers na nagtatrabaho, pati na rin pagpunta at pabalik ay exempted po dito. At ating pong mga pulisan ay pagbilinan ng ating mga commanders, particularly ng Joint Task Force COVID Shields sa pangunguna ng ating Deputy Chief PNP for Administration, Police Lieutenant General Cesar Binag, na gawin ang dalawang bagay sa pagpuputupad ng curfew at minimum health safety standard protocol. Observe maximum tolerance and respect the rights of our countrymen, of the people na nasa labas during our implementation. Bilang kapalit, hinihingi din po namin sa ating mga kababayan ang kanilang kooperasyon at gawin din po yung dalawang bagay naman na hiningi namin sa inyo. Una ay respeto po ang mga alituntunin ng ating curfew, itong mga protocol na to, at pangalawa, irespeto po ang mga nagpapatubad nito. The mutual respect that we are expecting and hoping coming from the PNP and those who will implement these curfew protocols and guidelines, and the respect that will be coming from the public will make us sure that this will be implemented properly. Lagi po natin tatandaan na hindi natin kalaban ang pulis, hindi natin kalaban ang ating pamahalaan. Ang tunay na kalaban natin ay virus at yun po ay ating napatunayan sa nakaraang taon. Kasama ko po ngayon ang ating ang Director for Operations, Police Major General Alfred Corpus. Sa buong stint niya po, ilang araw po yan, mula nung Thursday hanggang kahapon siya dumating. Siya ay nasa Palawan to oversee in behalf of the PNP ang magandang implementasyon ng security coverage for our election, which sa inyong pagkakaalam at sa ating lahat ay naging matagumpay. Wala po tayo nakita na sinasabi ng ating untoward incident, but he is still here if you have any questions pertaining to the plebiscite that has been conducted in Palawan. Maraming salamat at kami po ay bukas na para sa inyong mga katanungan.
Thank you, sir. We shall now proceed to the Q&A. Let's start with Mr. Mar Gabriel from Net25, sir.
Hello sir, good morning. Sir, clarify ko lang yung message ni General Bato dun sa mga Senate reporters regarding sa postponement ng hearing. Isa raw dun sa mga namatay, sir, may close contact kay Chief. Na-trace nyo na ba, sir? Paano kung ito bang pulis na to ay nahawa kay Chief o si Chief ang nahawa dito? So,
inaalam natin yan. Alam niyo po, hindi kami pwede magbigay ng identity ng mga infected ng coronavirus, lalo na po kung siya namatay. At pinabuubaya po namin yan sa kanilang kamag-anak kung gagawin nila. So, in that case, tuloy-tuloy naman ang ating contact tracing. In fact, nung ang ating Chief PNP ay pinagbigay niya lang sa akin and then sa Viber group, ay yung kanyang sitwasyon, nung siya ay pumunta sa Mindoro, agad na kami ay nagbigay ng kautusan para sa ating mga concerned station health units. Ibig sabihin, ito yung sa bawat unit na siyang mamumuno para sa contact tracing. At ang health service ay nangunguna dito para sila ay bigyan ng tamang guidance. At hindi lamang doon sa Mindoro pinuntahan niya, kami nga kasi, di ba, meron kaming, ako personally, ang last na exposure ko or interaction with him was last Wednesday. Pero even before that, almost daily, nagkikita kami. Kaya nga nung nagpa-test ako kagabi, safe na ako hanggang Wednesday, more or less. Pero yung mga Thursday naman, and Friday, I went on isolation na. But still, makampante tayo na obserbahan natin. So in that particular case, don't worry that contact tracing is being done already. And all of these things naman, I'm not sure kung yung sinasabi natin na police natin na 33rd victim natin was in direct contact with the PNP. So all of these are being analyzed by our health service as part of the contact tracing effort.
Sir, with this incident, obviously naapektuhan yung trabaho operation ng PNP. Sir, hindi nyo ba kinoconsider na sumama na sa vaccination ng AstraZeneca yung mga official ng PNP, sir?
We have priority. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, kami, nag-uusap-usap kami, gusto na namin magpaturok. Pero hindi man nauubra kasi healthcare worker muna. Di ba sinasabi nga natin na nung una itong Sinovac, initially it was recommended na wag na muna para sa mga healthcare worker, wag na muna sa mga senior citizens, wag na muna sa may mga comorbidity. Alam niyo, nung tinanggal yung tatlo na yon, kami na next in line. And we were assured by the OIC during that time that all of us na qualified na walang comorbidity, na hindi health worker, na hindi senior citizen, mako kami. And almost 200,000 were pledged to be given to us. But of course, nagbago at in-offer muna sa mga healthcare workers kung gusto nila o hindi. Pero yung pag-offer sa healthcare workers, hindi lamang sa Metro Manila yun. Practically all over the Philippines, including the different cities and municipalities sa amin sa probinsya, sa Tagkawayan. May nakaratang nila nga eh. And hindi lang sa government kung hindi sa private. Kaya essentially, wala muna kami. Babalik kami ngayon pag naubos na yung ibang priority. AstraZeneca dumating naman, pero still, AstraZeneca lalo na. Kasi ibabalik ulit natin sa priority dyan yung mga senior citizen and by comorbidity, but for healthcare workers. So kami, mag-iintay, umaasa, magdadasal na sana as soon as possible time, dumating na ang bakuna at yun ang kailangan natin sa pagkakataong ito.
Sir, hindi ba kino-consider na kasi may direct contact din kayo sa mga kasama nyo sa health frontline, sir. At madalas si Chief lalo nag-iikot sa mga regions ngayon.
Okay, ganito kasi yun. Doon sa amin sa ASCOT nga, inanalyze natin yung mga close contact. At kinategorize natin sila sa high risk and low risk. Ang high risk, ito yung mga sumusunod sa mga minimum public healthy standards like ng ginagawa natin. Yung hindi sumusunod doon, sila yung high risk. Baliktarin ko, high risk yung mga hindi sumusunod. Yung mga susunod, mga low risk sila. And then, as per the guidance of the Chief PNP, at alam niyo naman yon na sa amin walang home quarantine. Pag ikaw nag-positive, automatic ka sa isolation facility. Ngayon, kung ikaw ay close contact at high risk close contact ka, at yun ang sinabi noong na-interview namin na nag-positive, hindi namin pagbabasin yung sinabi nyo, kasi maaaring mag-deny lang kayo, obligado, dadalhin namin kayo naman sa quarantine facilities natin. Yun, because of that situation, kung ako ang police, lagi akong chine-check, lalo sa Metro Manila, magsusuot ako kasi kung di ako nagsuot at ako pala yung nakahalbilo ko ay isa nag-positive at tinuro ako na high risk ako, obligado ako doon. Hindi naman bakasyon yung pupuntahan doon sa quarantine facility. So hindi natin nire-require na yung mga low risk lahat mag-quarantine. Otherwise, lahat na lang magka-quarantine para walang pasok, nasa bahay. Pag ikaw ay low risk close contact, papasok ka pa rin sa trabaho mo based on our existing policy right now, but you must strictly observe the minimum public health standard. Kaya sa amin lahat yun ginagawa. By the way, after this, we'll be having a short small group meeting with the concerned senior officers and the health service para pag-aralan kung ano yung mga aksyon na gagawin natin in order to arrest this increasing infection in the PNP, which is reflective of the general population. Bahagi tayo, nasa labas tayo eh. Pag tumataas ang buong bansa, hindi pwede kami maiiwan doon kasi nandun kami. Pero importante at sinasabi natin, tried and tested formula, babalik at babalik pa rin tayo. Observance of the minimum public health standards. Thank you.
Salamat, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next is Ma'am Pat Manune, 2B5.
Sir, just to clarify and to set the record straight, meron po bang na-violate si General Sinas na protocols nung pumunta siya sa Oriental Mindoro?
Ito, alam nyo kasi, yung pagpunta ni Chief sa Mindoro, nakaplano na yon. That is why 2 days before that, March 9, nagpa-swab test na siya. At negative yun. So in effect, for 48 hours, okay na siya na pumunta doon. Yung test niya, nung mismong umaga, that is supposed to be para doon sa punta niya sa Palawan. Kasi the day after that, at within 48 hours, dapat magpa-check siya para naman makapunta sa Palawan. You know, the Chief PNP is the chief of the whole PNP. At lahat ng mga police station at mga kampo, teritoryo niya yan at pwede niyang puntahan. Well, while it is true na may chopper tayo, hindi man tayo dumiretso dyan. Mas magandang hindi tayo dumiretso sa labas para wala nakasalamuha. But inside the camp, meron pa rin tayong protocol na ginagawa. And kaya nakita nyo naman, di ba? Lagi nakasuot naman siya ng ganito. Based on our query at ating discussion with the regional director, in-account na rin natin doon at ang nakaharap naman niya, mostly all of them are mga PNP personnel. 98 of them are na-account, but only 10 were identified to be high-risk close contact. But just the same, ito 98, inoobserbahan at kung kinakailangan, iti-test natin. So, yun yung sitwasyon natin doon. Well, siguro pinakamaganda, andito ang ating Director for Operations, nakasama niya doon, na by the way ngayon is nag-oobserba pa rin. Pero being low risk close contact, walang problema naman dahil we're absorbing all of the protocols. But just the same, let us have Police Major General Alfred Corpus to elaborate on this, kung ano nangyari doon sa Mindoro.
Thank you, sir. Good morning sa inyong lahat. Yes, I was with the Chief PNP, no? When nung kami ay pumunta sa Mindoro actually. We went there to conduct a command visit, and then supposedly the following day pupunta kami sa Palawan to supervise and monitor the plebiscite. No, so yung sinabi ng ating OIC na si Chief PNP had his RT-PCR test last March 9, that is purposely for the visit in Mindoro Oriental, no? Now since Palawan requires RT-PCR 24 hours prior to our arrival, 48 hours prior to arrival, he had to have his RT-PCR test again on that day. No, so yung March 9 niya, talagang pasok siya doon sa visit niya sa Mindoro Oriental. The RT-PCR conducted on March 11 was for Palawan plebiscite. No? And as reported by the RD of PRO 4B, Police Brigadier General Pascual Munoz, no, bago pumunta si Chief PNP doon, pati kami, we complied with the requirements of Calapan City, which is to submit yung aming RT-PCR result so that they can issue an acceptance letter from the city government. And we had that, so we did not violate anything. No? We did not violate the protocols. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that they have been clarified. Thank you very much, Bo.
Sir, on the curfew naman, sir, gaano karaming pulis at mga checkpoint ang ibabalik natin to implement this new curfew ulit sa NCR?
Well, based on the report submitted by NCRPO to our Directorate for Operations, supervised with Joint Task Force COVID Shield, more than 9,000 yung already deployed. Pero kasama na rin kasi yun, not only sa mga checkpoint. There are more than 370 places they have identified na conducive para sa mga checkpoint. Hindi naman ibig sabihin yan, sabay-sabay nalalagyan yan. pwedeng ikut-ikutan nila. Pero ang pagkakaiba nito is talagang bubuhos tayo mamayang gabi base na rin sa direktiba ng ating Chief PNP. So, alam niyo walang pagkakaiba itong mga checkpoint at walang pagkakaiba itong implementation nito. Ito'y paulit-ulit na isang taon natin ginagawa. Kaya lang ito nga binibigyan ng emphasis ngayon para ma-realize ng ating makabayan na kailangan natin gawin to. So, yung ating pagsupad dito ay tumupad tayo ng kusang loob. At ang lumabas lamang during period na merong curfew ay yung mga exempted. Pero niliwalagan natin doon sa mga exempted, okay po yung magdalang kayo ng ID. And na-disseminate naman natin sa ating mga kapulisan, exempted itong mga essential workers natin, including kayo mga media, kung ang lakad nyo sa labas ay papunta, papalik, or mismong ang presence nyo is yung inyong trabaho.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Ma'am Leia Ilagan of the UNTV. Ma'am.
Tanggalin mo na kasi yung face shield.
Morning, sir. Sir, yung sa Calbayog lang ako, na-trace na ba natin kung nagkusa lang yung intel na sumulat at wala nag-utos sa kanya?
Based dun sa initial investigation ng Regional Director, initiative lang niya yon para nga makakuha ng mga informasyon at magkaroon siya ng extensive na situational report on the insurgency, counterinsurgency in the area. At yun nga naging basihan natin para makita na very unprofessional. You know, in our organization, we have, we can say, rules that we are observing in dealing with the judiciary and other government agencies, lalo na itong mga kasama natin sa pillar of sa justice pillar natin. So yung kanya kasi ginawa with this position and the way na isinagawa niya pag-request niya yun is inappropriate, intrusive, and unprofessional. So dapat hindi na tayo, alam natin lahat ng mga yan. Ayaw natin na gagawa tayo ng anumang bagay na pwedeng magre-reflect ngayon ng pagiging unprofessional ng ating mga kapulisan. And we are continuously conducting investigation and proper dissemination on the protocol. In fact, the Directorate for Investigation is reviewing all of these things so that the appropriate guidelines could be disseminated for the compliance of our personnel in the field.
Sir, kasali din siya doon sa parang training ba? Yung katulad nung siyam?
Well, we leave this up to the regional director. Yun naman kasing all of this relief na nangyari is not only in connection with that letter submitted to the clerk of court, but also with what happened, itong nangyari na incident kung saan namatay yung ating mayor doon at iba mga pulisan natin. To give way for impartial at saka pati yung magandang investigasyon, the Chief PNP, based on discussion or recommendation coming from the regional director at ako na rin, ay yun na at minapag-usapan na tanggalin doon yung Chief of Police, pati na yung iba for retaining repression. Not necessarily na may kinalaman o ano yan. So part of the investigation. The National Bureau of Investigation, as directed by the Secretary of the OJ, is conducting investigation. And I was told by the regional director that the NBI agents there have coordinated already with them, asking for some information, and they will fully cooperate in the investigation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Ma'am Third Ann Madonso, Sunstar. Ma'am.
Sir, doon lang po ako sa curfew. Sir, so mamaya magkakaroon ng mga checkpoint. Magko-conduct ba sir ng random inspection o lahat ng sasakyan na dadaan sa checkpoint i-inspect?
Random checkpoint. Well, ito kasi yan this depends to the situation. Parang yung pinagdaanan natin, nung ECQ tayo, kakunti ang tao dahil kakunti ang allowed. Kakunti sakyan. So you can check all the vehicles na dumadaan. Pagpunta sa MECQ, nag-GCQ, dumami ang permitted na pwede na doon. So if you will check all of the vehicles in the situation na maluwag tayo, magkaka-traffic yan. Kaya ang ginawa natin doon sa GCQ na at saka ngayon, random checkpoint. With regard to the curfew implementation, kung kukunti naman sakyan, why not? Check them all. Pero kung marami na, stop and go. Just like what we've been telling our unit commanders sa ground. So, yan, discretion ng ating TUM supervisor in the area. Pero kung halimbawa gabi naman, pwede pumili lang kaunti, di ba? Pero kung halimbawa isang maga, wag lang, hindi na curfew doon sa ating implementation. Kasi yung maghihigpit pa rin tayo. Meron tayong tinatawag na mga checkpoint, pero yung checkpoint na yun, hindi mo pwedeng i-check ang EDSA, napakahaba dyan. Problemang malaki yan. So ang gawin mo is mag-check ng 10 vehicles, palampasin mo. Then check ulit ng 10, palampasin mo. So meaning to say, sort of alatsamba, but if the motorist will know na sila ay pwedeng ma-check, chances are, syempre magre-react yung mga yan. So yun yung gusto nating message na ibigay sa kanila.
Sir, sorry, dun lang kay Chief PNP. Sir, kasi ang sinasabi nila, ang sinet daw na protocol ng DOH, pag nagpa-test ka, kailangan mag-isolate ka until lumabas yung result.
Okay.
Your reaction on
Yeah,
that?
well, basically yun. Ako, sa aking personal na opinion, kasi nga sunod-sunod yung lakad niya. Di ba? Nagpa-test siya ng March 9 kasi 48 hours para doon sa isa. And then, pagkatapos doon, next na pupuntahan niya, beyond 48 hours na yon. So, hindi siya makakapunta doon sa lakad niya. And we know the schedule of the Chief PNP. Lalo na, merong election, merong plebiscite na nangyari doon. So, I believe that not only this consideration, but, well, kasi, yung kasi asymptomatic, wala siya nararamdaman. Maybe because of the physical exercises na ginagawa natin. Pero ang point natin doon is that based on the risk assessment, negative ako ng isang araw. So punta ko dito, yung test ko ngayon is para doon sa susunod na lakad ko. Well, of course, meron tayong policy and protocol, pero I believe that yung mga policy and protocol naman, meron din tayong tinatawag na parang maintindihan natin kung ano ba talaga ang basic intent noon. Otherwise, kung hindi nga, hindi na siya makakapunta sa iba nilang lakad dahil iintay niya muna yung result na isa. So, yun naman yung aking nakikitang explanation doon sa particular situation na yun. Thank you.
Next is Ma'am Marisol Abdulrahman, GMA 7.
Good morning, General Eleazar, sir. Sir, follow up lang sa question about curfew, di ba? Unlike before na there is community quarantine in the whole NCR, we understand, sir, na yung deployment of almost 10,000 personnel now is just for the curfew. Therefore, sir, beyond 5 o'clock in the morning, we won't be seeing them anymore. They will just be deployed during those times, or round the clock na yan, any time of the day, andun na po din deployment ng mga police na yun, sir.
You know, in the accounting of the NCRPO, sinama na dyan itong mga nagpapatrol ng iba. So kasama na yon. When we say implementation of curfew, that doesn't confine only on the actual checkpoint operation being conducted.
Alright.
So yung mga ano diyan, itong mga TRMU natin, itong mga SWAT na available sila on that night, in-account na natin yon. Well, alam nyo, gusto natin ipakita rin kasi sa ating mga kabayan na itong mga pulis naman ito, nagkatrabaho din sa, while it is true na nagkatrabaho sila gabi, sinasama natin sila doon sa accounting ng mga personnel na maaaring tutulong sa implementation ng curfew. So, it doesn't necessarily mean na yung 9,000 plus na yan, nasa kalsada lahat. Yung iba dyan, pwedeng nasa police station, but very much ready to go to any specific location kung kinakailangan.
Alright, okay. Sir, we understand NBI is investigating already the case in Calbayo, pero di ba, sir, you have created already SITG. May we know, sir, kung may update na po sa probe nila about sa shooting incident?
I just checked with the RD last night, and accordingly, hindi pa sila tapos sa investigation. And humingi ako sa inyong pangunawa that I could not elaborate the conduct of the investigation, the progress of it, dahil mas maganda na all angles will be looked into for the SITG to come up with their result of investigation and probably recommendation. While other agencies, such as the NBI, is also doing its own investigation. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Sir Mark Macalala, DCBB. Sir.
Hi sir, good morning. Increasing din yung cases pagdating sa PNP. May magbabago ba sa shifting o sa duty nila? And meron pa ba tayong enough forces, sir? Lalo frontliner din tayo.
Yes. Just like what I've said earlier, after this, we have a scheduled small group meeting dahil merong mga recommendation yung health service and other concerned officers na i-review or i-revisit natin yung ating protocol kung tayo ay nasa mas mataas na quarantine like yung ECQ and MECQ kung saan andun yung ating work from home or skeleton force. So ipag-aaral namin yan. But one thing is for sure, ako ay naniniwala na kung lahat lang tayo ay susunod dito sa minimum public health standard, sundin natin in toto na pati yung hindi, kasi bawa sa opisina 8 hours ka na nakaganito, naka-mask, naka-face shield, and then 10 minutes kayo magkasamang kumakain, sayang lahat ng mga pinaghirapan nyo doon na 8 hours kayo, and then after that meron kayo exposure na kumakain. So pati yun, kasama yun sa ating obserbahan, and we will see to it that it will be imposed, and we are directing all the commanders in all units in the PNP to see to it that it will be followed. The station health units are there. While we are studying itong pagbibigay nga ng work from home or kung paano yung gagawin natin na operational capacity and skeleton force, all of this for consideration, nahihigpitan natin itong observance of minimum public health standards, which I believe the DOH and WHO are telling us yan ang solusyon sa ating problema para maaresto natin itong pagtaas ng ating infection.
Sir, yung mga hospitals kasi ngayon tumataas na rin yung bed capacity po nila. Sa PNP sir, yung mga healthcare worker po natin, kamusta po yung moral po nila? Exhausted na rin po ba sila? Nakararanas na rin ng COVID fatigue?
Well, isang taon na tayo at nakita natin that's why it is really a concern for us. Kaya nga mag-uusap at mag-meeting kami dahil yung ating kasing mga quarantine and isolation facilities talagang pwedeng ma-overwhelm na. Remember, here in Kiangan, we have our emergency medical treatment facility, and then dyan yung pinupunta natin. Initially dyan sila pumupunta, and ina-accommodate natin yung mga asymptomatic na mild pa lang naman. Pero kung medyo moderate, dadalhin sa hospital or ililipat namin doon sa ibang facilities na meron tayo sa labas. And then for those who are just high risk close contact, meron tayong quarantine facilities na pinupuntahan. Pinaplano namin na magdagdag din tayo ng iba pang additional na quarantine facilities. Ito yung para sa mga high risk close contact. Ito hindi pa positive pero ina-isolate na natin. Pero yun nga, kung dadami, talagang kailangan may action tayo dito. So these are some of the things that we are studying and considering. And with regard to our healthcare worker, medyo high moral naman sila kasi nakita natin na base na rin sa priority ng ating pamahalaan, sila talaga nauna. And natutuwa kami na talaga yung healthcare workers natin, aside from the 1,196 na binakunahan dito sa Camp Crame, there are the regions, as you know, na nasisirami sa inyo, na yun ay quota nitong mga DOH regional offices na binigyan ng quota itong ating mga regional health service personnel doon sa mga kanilang mga region. Yung kanilang pangalawang bakuna, bahala na rin sila doon. For sure, sinecure na rin yun, just like what we have done to secure the second dose for our personnel. So, aalamin namin lahat ng mga kailangan nilang gawin para patuloy sila na mataas ang moral at patuloy na maglilingkod sa ating mga kasamahan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next is Sir Alfred Dalison, People's Journal. Sir.
Morning, sir. Starting tonight, yung strict enforcement ng curfew, anong guidance ng PNP sa mga kapulisan natin, yung mga mahuhuli nila na magbabiolate, considering marami pong kaso na pag nag-e-enforce yung siksikan sa mga sasakyan, sa mga mobile, nandun yung possibility na magka-contract rin ng virus.
Yes. Well, ang ating gagaya na banggit ko nga, ito naman hindi bago sa atin, di ba? So, along the way, for the past year, we have lessons that we have learned in the implementation para makatulong para yung mga pulis natin na frontliner ay hindi mahawa. So, basically, andun pa rin yung ating personal protection. At least, yung face mask and face shield, at saka pati hindi nakikihalubilo doon. But, in the actual implementation, we are hoping and expecting na sana through this effort na ma-disseminate natin sa kanila na sumunod sila so that hindi tayo maraming mahuhuli. Kasi kung maraming mahuhuli, talagang obligado tayo na well, dependent, depending on the existing ordinance in the area, may karampatang sanction yan eh. So talagang dadalhin dyan, like sa Quezon City, napakaganda kasi in other areas na sila mismo, ang police is tumutulong na lang. Pero basically, itong gagawin natin ito ngayon, sisitahin. At kung mayroong mga violation, simple violation, alam nyo, pwede rin mang i-caution pa rin yan eh. But on the existing ordinances kasi natin, una, mas maganda, pagbultahin mo na. At least, yun ay revenue pa ng ating LGU. Hindi mo ikukulong, pero pagbultahin mo. Maaari yung pangalawa, depende pa rin sa ordinansa, community service, at pangatlo, yun yung pagkakulong. But inuulit natin, our police personnel have been given that directive, first, to see to it that they are well protected, para hindi sila mahawa. And then sinasabi nga natin, and we will be monitoring their compliance, maximum tolerance, number 2, respect the rights of the people. At yun ang panawagan natin sa ating mga kababayan naman, dalawa rin. Respect these guidelines that we are implementing. And the other one is respect those law enforcers who are implementing these guidelines. Thank you.
Last na lang, sir. Yung respect sa rights ng mga tao. Marami kasing nabibidyohan yung pinagmamarcha yung mga violators. Minsan, kung ano-anong klaseng parusa. Kasama ba yun sa tinuturo nyo na wag na natin gawin para maiwasan po yung batiko sa PNP?
Tama yun. Kahit nasa Human Rights Affairs Office pa, si General Usana, yan yung paulit-ulit na nilalabas nila na mga directives and reminders sa ating mga kapulisan. At sa ngayon, yun pa rin ang pinalo natin. Meron na iba siguro mga akala niya mas okay yun eh. Akala niya mas nakakatulong. Well, while it is true na minsan magandang objective mo, magandang intention mo, pero mali pa rin yun. So wag tayo pupunta pa rin sa ganun, di ba? Kahit pa maganda yung objective na gagawin na yun. And I believe that the Directorate for Operations as well as the Human Rights Affairs Office natin separately have given their reminders to all personnel in this particular aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Finally, let's have Lloyd Kaliwan, sir, from Philippine News Agency. Are you done, sir? Okay na po. Ma'am, meron po kayong additional?
Sir, pahabol lang. Sir, yung deployment po ba ng troops, sir, will there be more, are they more, paano ang distribution, sir, kung saan yung mas, mas anong area?
Okay,
So, for
ganito kasi
example,
yan.
if in Pasay, there's more cases, so will there be more troops there?
Ito bang the curfew?
Yes po.
Okay. Alam nyo, ang ating mga units, mas alam nila yung sitwasyon dyan. So that, specifically NCRPO, they have 5 districts. And in every district, identified nila yung mga lugar historically. And based on experience, kung alin din yung magandang binabantayan. And just like I've said, the 378 identified location for checkpoint, hindi naman kailangan na pwedeng bantayan palagi yan. Pwede naman paikot-ikot sila dyan. But we leave this up to discretion of the commanders in the ground. Bottom line, we will monitor and we are expecting and hoping na magkakaroon ng magandang resulta itong pagsasagawa na ng checkpoint. Ang palat sa ating mga kababayan, kung ang titing sa inyo is parang militarization na naman ito, andyan ang mga pulis natin. Ibang sitwasyon natin ngayon. Pero kagaya ng experience natin sa Cebu, kagaya ng experience natin dito nun sa Valenzuela, or ibang areas, dito sa Metro Manila, na kung saan nag-deploy tayo, even the Special Action Force, nakita natin yung compliance. Well, kahit pa sabihin natin ng mga police, armado na andyan, pero andun pa naman sinasabi natin, yung respect at yung observance ng ating nakarapatan ng ating mga kabayan. So, ang ating request sa lahat, sumunod na lang. At para sa curfew, kung hindi naman kayo kasama sa exemption, huwag na kayo lumabas. Basically, ang pinupuntiran natin dito, yung lumalabas na pupunta sa mga kainan, sa mga restaurant, pupunta sa mga kaibigan para magkaroon ng gatherings. So, yun ang mawawala sa atin. But, for those of you who are part of the essential working establishments, para sa inyo, walang curfew sa inyo as long as yung presence nyo sa labas is in connection of your particular job. Thank you.
So, I Yes, ma'am, meron po kayong pahapon.
Good morning, sir. Sir, tanong ko lang, ibabalik ba natin yung dating protocols? For example, yung mga formation po dito. Kasi di ba tumaas po yung kaso natin? Kasi di po ba walang formation, but now, parang every 4 o'clock may nagpo-formation po dito. Ano pong gagawin po natin doon?
Well, una, kasi nga nasa GCQ na tayo. And part of our effort in approaching the new normal is for the PNP to become fully operational. Not only on operational activities, but administratively. Pero isa rin yun sa pag-uusapan namin actually. Even though right now, nasa GCQ naman tayo and allowed na yun. It is the intention of our Chief PNP na bumalik na tayo papunta sa normal so that we can maximize our services to the people. Kasi yun di ba? Kung kalahati tayo, kung bawas tayo, hindi tayo makapag full blast. But of course, laging inoobserbahan natin yung namang concern or welfare ng ating mga pulisan. So pag-aaralan namin yan, but uulitin ko ulit, at the end of the day, kahit pa anong klaseng gagawin natin na set up yan, i-modify natin yan, ibalik natin yung walang formation o meron man, kung susundin pa rin natin yung minimum public health standard, based on my personal experience, tried and tested for me, malulusan natin, or the chance, I'm not saying 100%, but the chance of contracting virus is very slim. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes the
So,
meeting, sir. Last words coming from you, sir.
Once again, let's join together to pray and wish our Chief PNP well. Inaasahan naman natin na sa mga susunod na araw, makakalabas na rin siya. And then right now, we are here with this guidance to continue the operation of the PNP. Muli ang aming pasalamat sa ating mga kasamahan sa media. Tulungan nyo kami para matulungan din natin ang ating sambayanan. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.